Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our A to Z series focusing on supporting children with reading and learning difficulties. I'm Florence Callender, your educational consultant, learning strategist, and the difference in learning speaker, with over 25 years of experience in helping children overcome challenges in their learning journey. Today's letter is F, and the word is frustration. Frustration is a common issue that many children with reading difficulties face. When we say someone is frustrated, what does that mean? What exactly is it? Well, frustration is an emotional response to obstacles or setbacks. It's a feeling of upset and annoyance that's caused by the inability to achieve something. It's something we all experience, but for children with reading difficulties, these obstacles are often frequent and profound in their daily lives, day after day after day. And eventually, that leads to even greater heightened levels of frustration. So when a child struggles to read a sentence that their classmates just breeze through, that frustration can build up quickly. How does it show up? How do you know for sure your child is frustrated? Well, do you have a child who, despite your best effort, refuses to read? It's reading time, you put the book in front of them, and you say, okay, let's read. I'll read first, and you go ahead and you read now, and they just refuse to read. Or perhaps at homework time, they just have frequent meltdowns. They are screaming and they're tantruming. Or maybe they have these emotional outbursts and these bouts of crying and yelling only at reading time. Maybe you get reports from their teacher of daydreaming. You know, your child just daydreams in class. Or every time it's reading time, they ask to go to the nurse, they have a headache, they have a stomach ache. Do you get those kinds of complaints from your teachers or those reports? Well, in children with reading difficulties, frustration may show up in a number of ways. But all of those different ways, they usually fall into one of three categories. The first one is behavioral outbursts. So for example, the tantrums, the yelling, and even sometimes aggressive behavior. This happens when they feel so overwhelmed, but they are unable to express their struggles in words. So you would find that more so with the younger children. The second evidence you have is withdrawal or avoidance. So this is when your child retreats inward, they become quiet and withdrawn, they're in a corner over there by themselves, or they're avoiding the activities that they find challenging. So if it's in class, they would avoid reading aloud in the class because they don't want children laughing at them, finding out they can't read. Or if it's at home, they would avoid doing the homework because they don't want you to feel badly about themselves, about them. So they do all kinds of stuff to evade doing homework. Or they might say things like, I don't want to do this. I'm not good at reading. I'll never really be able to get it. That's a way to protect themselves from the discomfort of failure. The third way frustration shows up is in anxiety and low self-esteem. So you get repeated frustration, and then that leads to anxiety about learning. And next thing, the child experiences a drop in their self-esteem. And you know, these children can actually start believing that they're not capable or they're not smart enough. And then you hear them saying things like, I can't do this. I'm not smart. I'm so stupid. Which then causes them to give up more easily and become more reluctant to try new things. So it's a downward spiral that happens. Now, this frustration can significantly impact your child's ability to learn and to progress in their reading skills. Because when a child is frustrated, their focus shifts. It shifts from learning to managing their emotions. This heightened emotional state, it may interfere with their cognitive processes, their thinking. So it makes it harder for them to concentrate. It makes it more difficult for them to remember information or even to stay motivated to learn. And over time, this creates a vicious cycle where frustration leads to avoidance leads to falling behind in school, and this leads to more frustration, and the spiral continues. This vicious cycle goes on and on. Now, here's the thing. There are practical strategies that you, as a parent, a caregiver, an educator, can implement to reduce this frustration. And the first step is to create a supportive and a positive learning environment. So if you're a parent, you want to make sure that in your home, you have a supportive and a positive learning environment. If you're the teacher, be sure that your classroom is that. And remember, we all get frustrated. Everyone. Adults, children, typical learners, non-typical learners. The goal is not to totally eliminate frustration, but to help your child manage their emotions in such a way that it doesn't hinder their learning. After all, frustration is a natural part of learning. As an adult, if you are learning a new skill, you do get frustrated at some point if you're not getting it. So anyone who's learning something new experiences a level of frustration. So when your child has reading difficulties, they experience frustration. Also, theirs may be a little more intense than the typical learner. By us understanding frustration and how it impacts your child's learning and creating that supportive and positive environment I talked about earlier, you can help your child overcome challenges and build a strong foundation for their future learning. If you found today's tips helpful, please show your support by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Remember to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos in this series. In the next video, we will be discussing the letter G and looking into growth mindset and the difficulties experienced by children who do not have a growth mindset. Let's work together to make learning fun, fast, and easy for every child, because it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men and women. So until the next time, bye-bye now.